Hi neighbor, I'm Connor Gant. On today's episode, I learned how to check your bike to make sure it's ride ready. I'll improv my way through life with NouN and find out about a fashion show that will make you raise your eyebrows. I hope you'll join me as we say, hi neighbor. App State and Boone are both striving to become more bike friendly. One group helping to achieve that goal is the Boone Area Cyclists. Here to tell me more about all the work they do is president of the organization, Clinton Marsh. Clinton, how are you doing today?
Good, Connor. How are you doing? Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. So tell us a little bit about the Boone Area Cyclists.
Boone Area Cyclists, otherwise known as kind of the BAC, we've been around for about 10 years now. We were founded around Rocky Knob as kind of the managing organization for Rocky Knob years ago. Since that time, we've become kind of a major advocacy group for any kind of things that are happening cycling related around town. We also do our very best to promote safe and accessible cycling in the Boone area. We're currently made up of about 120 members and growing every day, so we're really excited about the
That's
people
awesome.
on board.
So we hear that you guys mainly participate in group rides. Can you tell us a little bit about what a group ride is?
Sure. You know, a lot of the local bike shops offer group bike rides going on now, but we at BAC kind of see a need for our own group rides. So we're starting on March 25th from Hatchet Coffee, great place to get a cup of coffee, by the way. We're going to start offering group rides from Hatchet Coffee, and we're going to offer those for different level groups. So it'll be an A, B, C, maybe a D group. And these groups will appeal to everyone, all levels of bike riders, from the expert racer types all the way down to kids. The good thing about offering the ride from Hatchet Coffee is that it has accessibility to the greenway. So, you know, if a dad or mom wants to come out and bring their kids and go for a nice ride, that'll be available to them as well. So we're super excited about having that. It's also going to help us hopefully build more of a community around cycling and getting people out who wouldn't typically get out on their bicycle or might be nervous about riding in Boone. Boone can be kind of tricky with the hills and the traffic and everything else. So we're super excited to be offering that.
Well, that's very cool. So tell me a little bit about Rocky Knob Park.
Rocky Knob. Been around, you know, once again, like I said, for around 10 years or so. Currently, we kind of supervise the trail portion of the park. The town has been nice enough to allow us to manage that, kind of the opening and closing of the park. And they manage the parking lot and restroom facilities and things like that. It's a great resource for us. We've done a lot of economic impact studies, and we're simply amazed at how many people come from out of town to Rocky Knob Park. It actually has become a destination point. We've gotten multiple grants to make the park happen. We have a few grants kind of in motion right now to add more trails to the park. It's got something for everybody now, we have a trail called the Kindergarten Trail for beginners, which has very few rocks on it, and to a double or triple black diamond that has a lot of really kind of scary drops. So we've got something for everybody there. And right now we have close to about 10 miles of trail there.
Wow.
It's a really, really cool place. That's
a lot. Yeah. So I know it's snowing outside today.
It is.
Did you happen to ride your way here?
I did. Believe it or not, I did. I brought my bike in today.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
Awesome.
So, and I know it's important when you're about to ride safely. What's some things you want to look for when you're about to go on a bike ride?
Great question. Kind of first and foremost thing you always want to make sure you kind of check is to make sure your skewers are on tight. Okay. That's always a very important thing. Right. Some bikes today don't have a skewer, they may just have a bolt, and that's okay. You always want to check that though, because the last thing you want to happen is your front wheel to fall off.
That would be pretty bad.
Another thing you always want to check is your tire pressure.
Okay.
You know, you can do that by touch, but you know, I really think it's highly recommend. A lot of times on the side of the tire, they have a recommended tire pressure or range. You always want to make sure that's kind of where it needs to be. Last thing you want to do is have a tire blowout, falling down the hill. So the kind of third thing you want to check is kind of your headset. Okay. To make sure that your handlebars aren't going to turn one way while your wheel's going the other way. So something we like to do is kind of put your hand on the front brake, maybe turn your handlebar sideways, grab that front wheel and kind of shake it back and forth and see if the headset or the stem is loose at all, and hopefully it should not be. Of course, kind of goes without saying to definitely check your brakes, make sure they're working right before you go screaming down one of these hills in Boone. That'd probably be a good idea as well. Something else just kind of on that same vein, I see a lot of people riding around without helmets on these days, so I'm a huge advocate for helmets. I don't have one with me. I only rode from the parking lot over here today. But anytime you put on a helmet, it's always really important to make sure. Typically, there's a kind of a dial on the back.
Make sure it's tight.
Yeah, make sure that's tight before you buckle your straps.
Okay.
Make sure when you shake your head that doesn't kind of go all over the place. Then buckle your strap and make sure it's secure around your neck. It's also really important.
Absolutely. Clinton, that was some fantastic info. Now, for anyone who wants to get involved with BAC, how can they do that?
Check out our website.
Okay.
We've got a website. It's booneareacyclists.org. Check it out. We're in the process of developing a new website, so that'll be up and running here pretty soon too. We also have a calendar on our events. You can also find out when Rocky Knob will be open or closed.
Oh, perfect. Clinton Marsh, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Connor. Appreciate it.
We'll have more High Neighbor coming up after the break. You've heard of Project Runway, and I hope you've heard of condoms, but what exactly do they have in common? Here to tell us all about it is Wellness Coordinator Saray Smalls. Saray, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So, what is this relationship between the show Project Runway and condoms?
Sure. So Project Condom is the name of the event. So it is a merge between this idea of increasing awareness around safer sex opportunities for young people using fashion. So if you're familiar with the show Project Runway, typically those that are engaging in the competition will create garments. And so our students here at Appalachian will be creating garments made out of condoms.
It's very cool. So how did this idea happen?
Sure. So during my time at the University of South Carolina, while I was working on my master's in public health, I was able to engage as a graduate assistant in the sexual health office. And so that's where this idea or concept of Project Condom was first introduced to me. So when I came to Appalachian, of course, I wanted to introduce it. But in my first year here, I first needed to recognize what is it that our students need, and then what is it that they want? Is this an event or program that they would want to engage in? And I got an overwhelming yes. And so that's why the second year that I've been here, we've had the opportunity to engage in Project Condom.
Very cool. So we were looking online earlier, and we
Sure.
saw some fantastic dresses and garments
Yes.
people made just out of condoms.
Yes.
What do you hope to see out of this year's event?
This is our first year doing Project Condom, so I'm really looking for creativity. I'm really looking for not just what the garments will look like, but also with the messages that are presented as well. So if students attend Project Condom, there will be awards for third place, second place, first place, but there'll also be a special prize for the best sexual health message. And our theme for Project Condom is past, present, and future. So it's going to allow us to kind of look back at where we've been concerning sexual health and sex education, where we are now, and where we're looking to go.
So if a student wants to learn more about Project Condom or the Wellness Center, how can they find out?
So we have a very active AppSync page, so students can access all of our events and some of our services through our AppSync portal. We'll also be posting about the event on our Instagram page. It's at @appstate_wellness, so they can get some really great information there about the event and some of the other services we provide, such as the Condom Ferry.
That's fantastic. Saray, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
Coming up, I'll be with the improv group NouN, and they'll tell me about all the fun and crazy things they're doing on this campus. Stay with us. Welcome back, neighbor. With me now is Keenan Dudley, a member of the improv theater group NouN. Keenan, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Awesome. Thanks for coming with us.
Yeah, thanks
Coming
for
to join
having
us. So what is NouN?
NouN is a improv comedy group that started in 1999 by a guy named Keel Schmidt. What we do is short form and long form improv, which is a bunch of different games based on the idea of improvisation. So every single show that we've ever done and every single show we will ever do is completely made up off the spot. It's never been done before, and it'll never happen again. And I think that what it is really is a great way to understand who you are as a person. And I think that because every time you go out there on stage and you play a character, you play a little bit of yourself in that character. Because it's off the cuff, because you don't have time to prepare anything, the thoughts that character has are your thoughts. And so I think that's where the real beauty in it. A lot of self-discovery when you're not trying to.
Very cool. So how did you get involved in NouN?
I started doing improv in high school my sophomore year, and I just trained with them for a couple of years, and I knew I wanted to be here and be on the team when I came up to App State. And my freshman year, I auditioned and didn't make the team. And I think that was really good for me and important because I decided I knew I really wanted to do it. And so I came back next year and auditioned and got on the team, and now I'm the president. So feels like I worked pretty hard, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Perseverance is a good skill to learn.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
makes you a better
And
president. So,
yeah.
what kind of events do you guys host?
We actually have our biggest event of the year coming up next week on March 8th at Legends. And what that is a 2-hour show, and we'll start it off with some short form, which you guys will see later today and what we're going to do. And we're also going to do a couple of long form games, which are 20 minutes of non-stop scenes based off of a single suggestion from the audience, where we try to tell more of a story and really explore every possibility on stage. So we also perform around town with a lot of other groups. On Sunday, we'll be in Whitewater Cafe doing a great project. And we hope to be anywhere where people want to laugh.
It's a fantastic cause. So we got Bill and Jimmy here with us today. We're going to play a game called Good, Bad, and Ugly. Jimmy, what's that all about?
Yeah, Good, Bad, and Ugly. So I have some questions for our 3 panelists here. Connor is going to start off giving good advice. Keenan will be giving bad advice. Bill will be giving ugly advice. But then once everyone's answered the question, they're going to switch chairs, and they're going to have to adapt the attitude of the character that was in the chair before them. So, yeah.
We're ready to get started whenever, we'll see what happens, whenever you're ready.
Recently I've been having like a weird rash pop up on my leg, so I just needed some tips on how I could possibly get over that.
And I guess the first thing is going to be you want to go and check out where it came from. If you can't figure that out, definitely go to the doctor.
Rash on your leg, you say? You must expand this rash. Expound on it. Become the rash. Believe that you are a rash yourself, and then you and the rash will become one.
Rash, you say? Well, it sounds a bit like scurvy. I got that back in my day as a sailor. I'd say you just jump in the water and swim it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and switch. Okay.
I'm going here.
Recently, I've come into some money, and I'm not sure if I should buy things or invest, so if I could just get some money advice, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think you should definitely call a doctor. Yeah, he might, they make a lot of money.
Okay. All right. You say?
Money, you say? Well, if it's money you want, you should go looking in banks. Maybe bring a gun and rob it from them. That's the best way to get money, and then give it back to them so you can make more investments.
Let me tell you right now, you're going to go out back, light a fire, and burn it. You're going to burn that money.
Burn it.
Burn it. That's it.
All right.
Good advice.
Yes, you have to switch one more time. I'm starving, and quite frankly, I don't know what I should do for dinner, so any suggestions would be helpful.
Well, Dr. Oz recommended a diet of maybe kale and some fine smoothies. That should fill you up quite nicely and give you all of the proteins that you need.
Okay.
Eat lots of mayonnaise.
Okay.
You want food, you say? Go out to the back, start a fire, find a pig, burn it, bacon.
Oh, okay.
It's awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the advice.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. That was a fantastic time. So you have your event coming up. What can we do to help?
Well, just come out and have a good time, really. It starts at 8:30 and it's only $3. So the venue, Legends, is BYOB. So it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's a lot easier to laugh after the third beer than the first, and you guys see that. All the money goes towards us continuing to study the art of improv and attending festivals and bringing that back to you guys, and I really hope you come check it out with us.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It was a fantastic show. That's all we have for today. I had a great time learning about biking, Project Condom, and improv. Be sure to check out our Facebook and Twitter page at AppTVHN for the full interviews. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. I'm Connor Gant. Bye, neighbor.